Hold on, John, we'll do the analysing.
We'll do it in a minute, shall we, Matt? Hang on then. You're on a roll. Well, you were.
That far. Oh.
You play too much pool, Matt.
Yeah, close. Anyway, let's get on.
Okay.
And analyse your results.
So, yeah, we're going to sit down and we'll tell you where we are.
Exactly. If you haven't already guessed where we are, because it's quite busy downstairs with the seniors playing, so we've come upstairs and we're just going to hijack the snooker room and look at your stats.
Okay.
So come on over. Perfect.
Okay, Matt, let's get cosy.
Let's get cosy again.
Okay. So, we're at Radnor Golf Club, if they haven't already worked it out. And today, what are we doing, Matt?
We've basically done a very simple gap test. So some of you have heard that term before. And the gap test is ultimately to see where the biggest gaps are in the clubs or your club range, but more importantly for you, just to establish some benchmarks over how consistently we hit it.
Okay.
What's your best one, what's your worst one? And then more importantly with the info that you'll get, where's your average?
Sure.
Yeah,
okay.
So a lot of you already might be thinking, well, what's the point of John doing a gap test before we've really got to work on the main technique?
Yeah, and maybe when they see the results, because we're doing this intro with the magic of video.
Yeah, definitely.
They are a bit up and down, they're all kind of all over the place.
Definitely, but that's almost what we expected.
Oh, absolutely.
And the biggest point of this, and a lot of beginners will ask the question, should I be custom fitted? Should I have gap tests in that first month or 6 months? The answer is yes, get them done, because it shows a true reflection of how you are today.
Okay.
And more importantly, when we talk about this half in the handicap, yes, there should be a noticeable difference between these results today and where we are 6 months, 12 months down the line. So almost all golf coaches will say everything has to be quantifiable, the drills we do are quantifiable, but we need some factual numbers down, which also make it quantifiable as well.
Yep.
So the good news about this is it gives us factuals. Therefore, don't be despondent with any of these numbers.
No,
the numbers are there.
I fully expected it not to go particularly well.
Yeah.
I think we were discussing, it might actually be on the video in a minute. There is a pressure. There is a pressure when you go to be gap tested. There's a pressure when you go to get club fittings.
Yeah.
Because you're standing next to someone, and sometimes 2 or 3 people.
Yeah.
They're really good players.
Yeah.
And then you start looking at numbers and you try and impress. So actually you're trying to beat the numbers, which is not what you're trying to do. You should just be trying to do your same swing every time.
Yeah, definitely. And those numbers, it's what I say, yes, you're trying to beat, but you also, as we'll see from this data, which we'll get up on the screen, it's the dispersion. It's the difference at the moment. That 34 handicap is based on your best one is fine, the worst one is awful.
Yeah.
And again, when you look at the patterns, they need to become closer and closer and closer.
Sure.
And I think we mentioned Steve Jones, or Scuffler Jones as you called him.
Yeah, a friend of mine from West Cornwall. Yeah.
Which again, he can get round a golf course perfectly well.
Yeah.
And again, he's a good player. He might not necessarily have the tour player's technique, shall we say, but he knows how to get round, which is the important thing.
He's got a consistency, which I certainly don't have.
And it is the big difference between you and him, let alone anyone else.
I think at the moment he's 21 handicap, something like that, 21. And he's really happy with that.
Yeah, definitely.
Plays off of that and does really well.
Yeah, definitely. So we'll have a look at this data now.
Okay.
John, and again with your magic in terms of editing in and out the video, what we did.
We'll put obviously the gap test is not the most interesting thing to watch.
No.
So we'll speed up those little sections in between a little bit of the data.
Okay.
Again, that's also something where I wouldn't normally use a full swing with a wedge.
Yeah, but certainly just, and again, it's not this won't be necessarily unfair in terms of a test, but if you were just applying a couple more practice swings, you'd probably find straight away it's a lot better.
Yeah.
Yeah, so definitely more practice swings needed. And just look at some basic setup points, because at very first glance, as I think everyone sees in the video, you're so close to it, and over it, you're almost squashing yourself into the shot. So definitely have some practice swings, try and relax.
I think the difference between this and doing our little wedge one that we did, is in that one I'm thinking tiny little shot, so open the stance and thinking about that body movement. This I'm thinking just trying to get them out there.
Swing,
and it's mindset again.
Yes, it is mindset. And at this point in time, I don't want to give you too many thoughts. I just want the numbers on screen. Good swing. But can you do it consistently? 112. So consistency is the key, as we keep saying. We've got consistent golf balls here on this range, which is really good. John's trying to hit consistent shots. We'll see the results later, but for the time being, just sit back and enjoy watching John. And
they'll all be super speeded, because I don't hit 200 miles an hour ball.
No, because otherwise this might be the most boring video we've ever made, and I'm sure that's why John just likes being creative with his ball flight sometimes.
Well, it's got to keep it interesting, haven't you?
Indeed.
Someone actually commented the other day and said, oh, I much prefer your videos when we had no idea where the ball was going to go. And I said, well, actually, I have no idea where the ball is going to go still. So.
Yeah, I think, you don't want to ever be described as hitting fireworks, do you?
No.
Some go left, some go right, some high, some low.
Maybe I'll put this out on November the 5th, just for fun, you know?
Yeah, watch my fireworks at Radnor. But to answer your question about what does a coach do while you're hitting the 5 consistent shots?
Yeah, because obviously it takes quite a long time to get the whole thing.
Yeah, definitely, and I wouldn't want anyone to rush. There's one or two things that happen on people that are having regular lessons. Probably gap test them every month in between lessons. I will do what I've done with you now, set it up, and all jokes aside, I will wander off and then come back.
Because in a way that actually relaxes me or whatever anyway. There isn't someone watching all the time. And
the nicest possible, the camera, not our cameras that are filming the lesson, but the software, the iPad, is all capturing what you're doing.
Sure.
So nice as possible. If I wandered off for half an hour, did a lesson, or answered some phone calls, saw some members,
you can come back and check the research afterwards in the data. Yeah.
And suddenly, if you're still on, your A sign, I will want to know what you've been doing, more so than what I have been doing in the last half an hour that it might realistically take to do a gap test. Very first page that we're getting up there as a result of doing the gap test outside. Now all these little icons along the bottom, or the tabs along the bottom, shows you, yes, there's some big gaps straight away.
Sure.
Yeah, but that was expected. What we're going to say now straight away is, if we did this every month, let's go every other month, I'd expect that to be more evenly spaced out.
Yeah, I've had a very quick look at these figures because Matt sent them to me straight away on my computer, which is great. And then you were doing a lesson in between.
Yeah.
And I know there are some false figures in here.
Yes.
Like, my 3-iron doesn't go 108, but I actually had a really bad 5 balls with a 3-iron.
Yeah, exactly.
So there's some false readings in this. Yeah, and sometimes you get a massive duff shot, and that'll change the figures
big time.
as an average.
Yeah, big time. But again, just it's another goal for us to have, and it's not a case of no, I'm a coach, I always find a positive. There are some positives. Some of these clubs went the length we thought, great.
Yeah.
But the reality said it wasn't consistent enough. That's why your average number is down.
Sure.
And nicest possible, you've only got a toppable, 10 yards along the ground, and suddenly your averages are completely thrown out.
Absolutely.
On the statistics. So again, 6 months down the line, expect those tabs to be more evenly spaced. They should be when we look along the middle bar, and again, when you put this screenshot up on screen, they should be as they would be in theory.
In order of the club.
In order of club, rather than the mishit allows us to, and let's highlight it very quickly, the 3-iron is going less distance than an 8.
Sure, this is very strange for me, because when I play, and the reason why I bought a 3-iron is because I said at the time I was having a lot more problems with the hybrid and the 5-wood.
Yeah.
So I bought a 3-iron because I was hitting it more consistently.
Yes.
And yet today, it's far worse than this other two.
Yes. But ironically, and again, the positive is the hybrid 131. That was carry length. Was actually okay. The 5-wood should be going further. Maybe it should go further than the distance it says.
Sure.
But again, it's factual. It's as you were today. We can't argue the numbers. And again, the driver 167. Yes, you've hit it further than that. But again, it's 6 months' time when we look back at this, and we've got the driver nearer 200, over 200. It's that moment where you have the big pat on your back and say, look, we did the same test. I will interject as much thought in terms of thought process to you in 6 months' time as I did on the range today, i.e. not a lot. That was just you hitting the shot, me trying to entertain some of your viewers and silly comments.
Your work is between these.
Yes.
Not on the actual test. The test is just me trying to hit a ball. Okay.
So we can go into loads of detail, but just to flick through so that your subscribers are in this journey with us.
Okay.
Again, it's just a different screenshot. Yes, you've got an average club gap of 10 yards, which is fine. But when you look at that average shot dispersion at 57 yards, it does represent where you was today.
Yeah, it's very much hit and miss.
Yes, nice as possible.
Absolutely. No, that's fine.
Yeah. We know, looking at the bottom 3 titles, the pull is in there. Yes, offline tendency right today. Fade was the tendency.
Which is very strange to me, because anyone who watches me on the course and when they play me, they say you've got a natural draw.
Yes.
And I always say, yes, I've got a natural draw.
Yeah.
Majority, when I'm playing on a course, they go draw.
Yeah.
So,
and again,
sometimes the figures don't quite quantify what actually happens in real life.
And again, maybe that draw again is, unless someone's standing directly behind you on the line, it's very hard to tell whether it's a draw or a pull.
Yeah.
So again, maybe it's just the club face today was slightly different. Again, when you're looking at the left-hand side of that screenshot, same thing. I want that evenly more spaced out, and as the theory should be, rather than the practical side of that. I said, hang on, those tabs are, some of them look like they're in the wrong place. But that was the reality of today's test, and there's the whole big thing going on with your whole overhaul. Is that honest look at how does someone
we start from a benchmark.
Yes.
We start from the bottom and we work forward, and I didn't really worry too much today how this was going to result. The important thing for me was to get a result, and then we work from there.
Definitely. So again, maybe a little bit boring, so we'll flick through these fairly quickly. It's interesting for me, the coach, it's interesting for you, the player. The viewers might not see as much detail, but again, the bigger that purpley mauve dispersion circle is, the worse it is. We want it to be closer, we want it to be from front to back, left to right, closer. Everything needs to be smaller in that sense. So average carry for that 60 degree was 48 yards, but again, it was the dispersion that had us.
So I think we will show us talking about these actual high lofted clubs, because this was where my serious issue was, certainly for me. I said to you that I don't really hit a 60 or a 50 with a kind of a full length swing. They're almost, mine's just my little chipping short game things, and this is why, because I hit them, well, I don't know whether it's called a shank or not, but every time I hit them they kind of drastically fly out to the right.
It was a shank, and again we did have a little word in between those shots just to say you were probably standing too close, there wasn't enough practice swings, and hence why, you know, it does ruin your consistency, but at the same time, honest appraisal.
And again, for next time, I remember to do more things like practice swings, and
definitely,
you know, this is what we work on.
And suddenly again, it highlights it. We're not going to go through this in loads of detail, or else it get really boring. But just the thing to pick up there, that top that went 40 yards versus maybe the slightly thin ones that went 90. Hang on, it does average out near a 70, which is where it should be.
And that's kind of where I always assume it. That's the club I pick up if I think I've got to do 70.
It would just be nice to get rid of the 40 and get rid of those two at 90, and have all five landing around 70.
Kind of 70, 80 if they run a bit.
So that's what we're looking for overall as we go through these. Again, the 56 wasn't too good. I think we did throw one of those infamous shanks in there, which were in the numbers. Same with the pitching, whereas there was a little Susie socket outright, which ruined our numbers.
I'm going to use that on a course now.
A Susie socket, indeed. It's all those words that golfers over the time have given it because they don't like calling it a shank.
Well, it is, okay.
Exactly. So the other one, the infamous J. Arthur. It's a J. Arthur. And if anyone knows who J. Arthur is from a former golf club of mine, you'll know that he suffered from the shanks. And everyone at the golf club used to say, "Oh, you just hit a J. Arthur." So here we go, 9-9, but the average was 97.
And again, if I was thinking nearly 100 yards, that's what I'm going to guess I'd be hitting. Because this is one reason why we're doing the gap test. I said to Matt over the last few weeks that since my swing has changed, and I know you're looking at the gap test and you know you're watching me hit balls, and it's still not perfect by a long, long way, but it's completely different to what it was. So my guessing of which club I should be picking has never actually been very accurate recently. They've always gone far too far, and this is why we're kind of doing this, to see almost if my guesses are kind of right, really.
And it is very hard to guess, isn't it? Because if you just looked at this screenshot we just put up on the screen, the 6-iron, the furthest one's gone 130. And it's not a case of come and have a torture session, John. But your shortest one's at 30.
Absolutely. We hit a duff one.
It's very hard to then allow for that when you're out on the golf course. If that was a tour player, the difference between the furthest and shortest might only be a couple of yards from 5 shots. But again, that's why we're doing it. And if I've said it once, I've said it 100 times. It's reality. The reality is it's quite hard for you, just as much as it is for the viewers, when you're off a high handicap, to club yourself correctly. Yes, I can say, look, the average is 107, but that's allowing for a 30-yard shot thrown into those 5. And you've got to be a bit more positive and say, well, maybe it should be near 130, because 4 of them were up around 130. So you can't.
And that's kind of what I said to you. There's a hole at West Cornwall, which I always pick up a 6-iron, because it's about 160 yards, and you have to hit it 140. And then roll onto the green, and I always pick a 6-iron up because that tends to do it.
Definitely. And again, that 3 irons a day will just
all over the place. You can just
skip that one. But the 8-iron again, look at the dispersion we hit. Must have hit one quite a way left there to get that dispersion. Was a huge dispersion.
Distance is not bad on the 8-iron, but it's just that dispersion wide.
Definitely. And again, when you highlight and do your editing, there isn't a lot of difference in length between the shortest at up 105, the longest at 116.
Which is kind of where we want all of them to be.
Definitely all the clubs.
Gapping distance of them.
Which then goes back to this, and again we'll have to have a whole session on just the mental side of it. You need to be able to stand over any club and think, I've got just as much chance of hitting this as another club. But I can guarantee you 90% of the people watching this video will say, no, give me an 8-iron, I can hit that a lot better than I can hit a 6-iron.
Yeah, I discussed when I was playing a couple of days ago, and the film's just only gone out the other day, when we were at Enmore Park with these 3 people I played the other day, and I never actually took my fairway wood out the bag.
No.
It's like it doesn't exist on my radar, because I always thought 3-iron was better. I hit it an iron better than I do a wood.
Yeah.
That's kind of gone out the window when you see this. But maybe on the course under pressure, you think, no, I don't want to go for the club. Yeah. Well, I'm in the range, I can't hit.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, definitely. And again, it's on our list of things that seems to get longer. We want that same confidence on when we're practicing to when we're out on the golf course. Of course we do. So 7-iron, again, average 120, but again, we had some differences there. Not so much on the length, but certainly on the offline bits.
Yeah.
We're bearing in mind we've got 19 and then a 34 the other way. That's a big dispersion.
It's
difference.
A big, yeah.
It's 50 yards.
And I think
the furthest points.
When we first started this with the higher lofted clubs, there was no practice swing.
No.
And it's happened so many times on these tests that I don't practice swing.
Yeah.
And then when we're getting to around about 7-iron, 6-iron, 8-iron, I think, started to think let's do practice swings.
Yeah.
And that, in reality, gave me a fairly similar distance on most shots, except the occasional one duff one.
Yeah,
but that doesn't affect dispersion, because what I was then doing was just thinking rhythm and hit the ball, not rhythm, hit the ball and where is it going.
Yeah.
For me, it was I didn't even think about where it was going on this. It was more about getting a distance.
Yes. Yeah.
So, but I should have been thinking about that as well.
Yeah, definitely. And if you ever wanted one that highlights again where we are today as a 30 plus handicapper, look at this 5 hybrid. If you get rid of that 4th shot at 81 yards, fantastic.
Yeah.
You know, we're talking 150, 140, 142, 145, great.
I mean, in recent weeks I've started to pick up my hybrid.
Yeah.
But before I wasn't. When I had my old swing, never picked up the hybrid because I just pulled it to the left all the time. And they are still to the left.
Yes.
But I'm now playing it on the course, picking up the hybrid far more.
Yeah, definitely. And again, the other positive when you look at statistics, and we'll have to look at how our mind interprets your statistics, 4 out of those 5 work.
Yeah. So and when you've looked at the other tests, 4 out of 5 is a lot better than 2 out of 5.
Yeah, so there's a huge positive.
Sure.
And so although my mind is automatically goes from where's the biggest improvement, this duff one, you can't actually sort of look past the fact that 4 of those 5 were pretty good.
Yeah.
Which is a huge improvement for your shots.
Yeah. 5 would.
Again, when you read down that line, we faded a few of those, we drew one of them, there was a big difference again between left and right, and those distance difference at 124 versus 156, it's very hard then to get that average. And again, let's be positive today, 156 carry with the first ball, great.
Yeah.
If our best one today becomes our average one of tomorrow, we're well on our track.
For me, on that 5 wood, just before you switch over, the positive for me was actually I hit it way over 100 yards on each one.
Yes.
There wasn't an absolute duff shot, and normally I just wouldn't even pick it up because they would scuttle on the ground like 30, 40 yards.
Yeah.
Why bother?
And that's the nice thing about doing a factual test. You can't. It's not a case of me saying, "Oh, well done, John. That was fantastic."
No. It's not fantastic by a long shot, but it's encouraging me to now think on the course, maybe just pick that one up occasionally.
Yeah, definitely.
Maybe the swing changes have helped that.
Yes.
Even if it hasn't necessarily helped the wedges as yet, it certainly helped some of the longer shots.
Yeah, definitely. And it's even like this driver, average carry 167. Yeah. Okay, you got 3 of them out there at over 170. Great. And then you had one down at 159.
Yeah.
But again, if you look at your best one and said, right, that's going to become the average in the future, it's all positive. So it's very easy when you go back to that first screen again, where we got the dispersions or the heights and those tabs, to say, hang on, there's room for improvement. There is.
Of course. Yeah.
But that's why we did it, and that was the very point about doing this. This was day one, first time we've done this test. There are numbers. I also videoed on my phone the golf swing, which we can bring up on screen now.
Okay.
Okay, there it is.
Yeah.
Make sure you get the right side.
Make sure we're standing on. We're all in the middle here. We'll have to try and.
Okay. I'll go that way.
Yeah, go that way. It'll be over there. Okay.
And we can look at that as I desperately try and find my phone to find. Didn't like me that time. To find the swing. This looks like John as a caged animal on the net.
Well, I think you're just going to safety screen, which is probably a good thing with the shanks I was getting at times. So yeah.
Health and safety said, make sure I don't stand too close. But again, as your viewers watch on the slow-mo, yeah, okay, everyone can see the head moves up a little bit there on the way up. There is that familiar closing of the club face, which we desperately need to work on. But generally the turn was actually really quite good. Down we come into strike, and okay, at that point it's never the most flattering position, an impact position, and that left arm that just pulls in says the legs, although they're working better than previous weeks, they can definitely do more.
For me, the head was a lot steadier.
Yep,
which is one thing. Is
positive. And as you already know what I'm like when I teach people, I build them up, I knock them down, I build them up, I knock them down. So for every good point, I'll give you one that's an area for improvement.
Yep.
But overall, that was moving better.
Of course.
Which is nice.
Yeah, people are watching the channel, they see me swing only a couple of months ago. There was absolutely no movement. Okay, the movement is a bit all over the place still. But there is some.
Definitely.
We then to work that out.
Precisely. And again, when we look at this from the side, that posture is your posture. Probably need to just slow that up a little bit to show you some of these points. That club head there is quite closed in that frame there.
Yep, but that's always been the issue with all the clubs.
So we'll work on that and we will actually do a very practical lesson, maybe on the next one on technique. But I just wanted to get the numbers down today. But we'll definitely tackle that to try and get that ball flying higher. There's that little lift as you go up to the top of the screen there. Down we come, and the club head just comes down ever so slightly outside your hands. I'd prefer the club head to be just further left as we look. Into strike we go, and okay, at that point there at strike, it was okay. The daylight under your right foot. First time probably this year there's been daylight under that right foot. So it's an improvement, and again, even the dynamics on that right leg are looking better, but it could be more again. So as we go through, is that bizarrely, not that anyone will notice this, stopped on me, down we come. It's not a bad swing, but I want a picture of the bottom of the right shoe before Christmas.
So there's still not enough turn in the foot and in the body, really.
Not enough, but it's a work in progress.
And to me, there's a difference of perception. So when you see this on here, when I'm in my head when I'm doing the swing and coming back, I think I'm lifting up really well. But when the reality, what you think when you're actually swinging yourself, which is why it's great to see it on video. Because then you go, actually, what I now think is an extreme position is actually the real one. So I need to extreme things even more.
Exactly. But today was all about getting those numbers. We got the numbers. It's a benchmark. It's that line in the sand. That just says that that's what it is. That's what we need to work on. But there's a lot of positives, and when you look back through these numbers I've sent you on certain shots, you'll say, well, if I'm being Mr. Positive and I take the best shot, fantastic. And again, for that reason, and I say it to everyone, don't look at the bad one. The bad one is the bad one. But that's why you've got your handicap, that's why you play off the handicap you're playing off at the moment. But in 6 months, 12 months time, there should be a lot less bad ones.
Yeah, the keys to improving my handicap and improving any handicap is consistency.
Definitely.
If you improve the consistency more and more and more, you get a lower and lower handicap. It's as simple as that, really.
Yeah, absolutely. So the good news is, I'll look over those figures. You're gonna go, nice sort of possible way, go away and do your magic on the video.
Yeah, okay.
You're going to then try and practice maybe some of the points we picked up from the video.
Yeah.
i.e. more turns, see if you can do anything with your hands to get that club face more felt,
okay.
and open as opposed to closed.
And that's the thing, it's now going back to range work.
Yes.
Because I've been playing lots of courses over the last 2 or 3 weeks and playing better than I was. But this is now showing. Go back to the range, start working out those positions, like the hand positions, and various different bits and pieces I've got to work on. So
yeah, definitely. But that's where we'll draw this to a conclusion today. Absolutely. Hopefully, you can speed up those shots on the range for everyone watching. And we're pretty good set for maybe next week to meet up again and work on some technique stuff.
Absolutely, and for people who've sort of thought about gap testing, have been told, don't, what's the point of doing it? I think that shows why.
Yes, definitely.
Even though, we don't have all those exact gaps, we don't have the great dispersion, but there are certain positives that we can enjoy and remember, and there are some definite defects that we now know more about that we need to come correct.
Definitely, and it sets us goals.
Sure. So don't be embarrassed about doing it. Fully accept the fact that you're not going to be as good as you think you are, never, and that this is actually useful. Yeah,
definitely. No, I can't recommend it enough. And I know this time of year, bearing in mind we're almost into November now, not quite. This time of year, when the weather's bad, I'll do a lot more of this type of lesson.
Exactly, it's the perfect thing. Get a gap test, then go on the range, do your practices, improve your game, so that when the course is in better condition and the weather better, you can bring it out in the game.
Yeah, definitely.
Lovely. Thank you very much, Matt.
No worries at all, John.
Once again, very good.
No worries.
See you all again soon. Thanks for watching. I know this is not the most exciting video, but it's another step that we have to do in the process.
Yeah.
Next few might be more exciting.
Could be.
Never know. Bye for now.
Okay. It's my hair, alright.
Your hair is lovely, Matt. It'll be fine, honestly. I've got hair, Matt.
I haven't. Don't.